What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus Ally gameplay video for you guys today, and today we are going to try High on Life. Now I already beat this game a long time ago, but I had fun with it. When I say beat, well, I beat the game once, but I didn't go and get every achievement there is, obviously. But still had plenty of fun with it. But that's only if you like, Rick and Morty style humor. If that isn't your kind of thing, you might not enjoy this game, just saying. But as somebody who does, I did. So, we've already done this game on everything else, besides the Steam Deck, because I didn't buy it. I only played it on Game Pass, and it was a cool game, but it's not one of those ones where I really feel like, yeah, I should go out and buy that. I can get a lot of replay value. Sometimes, I do. Like Hi-Fi Rush, I went and bought that after beating it, and that was on Game Pass, because a lot of people said, oh, you don't even buy games if you use Game Pass. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. But anyway, why don't we now go ahead and try to get this thing hooked up to the capture computer. I can almost promise it's not gonna work, but I have to do my due diligence and at least try. But it's still been doing that thing lately, even with the new BIOS update, which I didn't think would fix anything. BIOS doesn't have that much to do with the sound. I feel like that's more of a GPU driver update. Since it's USB-C and the audio has to pass through the GPU, I feel like that's probably something to do with the GPU drivers. Just throwing that out there, I could be wrong. But it has been just coming out through the speakers. I'll hook it up to the capture computer and the Steam Deck and everything else works fine. But the sound does not come through the capture computer, so you'd have no sound. You'd have the capture, but then it would just be me talking with no game audio, and I thought that would be kind of stupid, and people would not like that, so we're just gonna probably have to do more camera recorded gameplay with this thing for now. Hopefully that will get fixed. I really don't like doing it that way, but I'd rather do that than not make videos on the thing at all. So let's go ahead, get this thing, we'll try to get this thing hooked to the capture computer, and then if that fails, we'll be coming right back over here and take a look at the settings over here on the camera then. Well, alright. Let's really quickly look at these settings here. So we're on full screen, 1080p to start with. We turned off the VSync and we're gonna start on very high, which honestly probably won't give us great FPS, but it's worth a shot. Motion blur disabled. We maxed out the field of view too, because I know a lot of people like doing that in games, especially when you're on the PC. And then here's all of the settings real quick. And then at the end, it looks like it does have upscaling. So before we move over to 720p, we'll do some FSR, if it has it. I'm sure it does, otherwise it wouldn't have, what do you call it? Upscaling technologies at the bottom. So let's go see how it does in the game though, real quick, before we even get that far ahead. Might just run great, maxed out, we'll see. All right, finally, here we are in the game.
I know what button to press. Just fuck yeah, there we go.
Now we gotta go kill some shit.
I'm gonna stay hidden, then maybe try to sneak back to the house.
All right, first kill. I am so glad you picked me up. Let's keep going. Not bad, alien. Not bad at all.
But as you can see, definitely a little stuttery at full. Still barely above 30 FPS at least, though.
Well, here you go. It's a G3 warp base. Okay, let's just clean house and warp out of here.
Whoa, hello. It's really hard to see the freaking crosshair. So I guess we'll just always shoot in this mode, because at least then I get a crosshair with his little antlers.
Nice! You had to kill them, right? It was either them or you, and me as well, and I would prefer to live. And I have a voice here. Oh shit, it's a merc! They're tougher! Okay, the warp drive should be at the top. That's where it always is in shit like this. Just keep going. Keep going up to the top.
Shit, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Fuck yeah! Now grab the warp drive. We'll use this to warp the hell off this doomed planet. Sorry, no offense. I don't mean to upset you, but
we're getting down to the 20s now, so like I thought, it can't quite handle very high. At least at 1080p.
We just need to plug this thing into power. Do you have something back at your house? That, do you live in one of these huts around here? Take us there, because we gotta move. We gotta move. Listen, bring me up close to your face. You can aim better.
Fuck the shit.
Perfect. Now just look down the sights and fire. You're doing great, by the way. Oh, I'm proud of you. Do you need some more encouragement? That's my little G3 killer. Oh, look at you, G3.
That's my little G3 killer. Jesus. So many of you little bastards. Anyway though, I think that's plenty of camera recorded gameplay for this particular setting, so let's move on. Alright, doing some high preset now. Still at 1080p. So there you go, high preset right there. Maxed out field of view. So obviously you could get a couple FPS back if you lowered that, but I know a lot of people, especially me, I like playing first-person shooters with maxed out field of view. And we will do the upscaling at the end before we move on to 720p. So, now that we got to the bottom, let's go get back on into that game. Well, now here we go with some high graphics preset. And we are in the big old city now, which I figured would be a lot better.
Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter. Any idea where he might be?
Who? No. Do you know how many freaking people live here? And you expect me to know this guy? No, of course not.
Okay, not everyone's gonna be helpful.
Well, fine then. I'll just walk around the city and get some FPS data then. So this is much better already. We went from not being borderline unplayable on very high.
Okay, this isn't going so well, but
and
let's
that was
keep
before we even
asking
got to the
around.
city. Once I got to the
Find
city, it
something,
was
I
like
swear.
25, 26 FPS like everywhere. So, I had a feeling it was going to be much worse. So, very high just isn't going to work on this thing. Not at 1080p anyway, unless you're going to get some help from some FSR or something. Well, can't go up there yet.
Plaza is under temporary lockdown.
Under the temporary lockdown.
Shit, I guess that's our fault, huh? Let's just try looking around here for now. Where the hell is he? Blimp City's always been his headquarters, you know? We can't give up.
Hey, don't even think about going down to the slum.
Yeah, this is a maintenance-only shaft, so scram!
Okay, God, someone has to know where Gene is.
Well, truthfully speaking, we haven't talked to too many people. I've just been running around. But yeah, this is much more playable now. We're getting like 45,
we're
48, even in the 50s sometimes. And with that FreeSync, this feels freaking very smooth considering it's not 60. I like it. I could play like this, no problem. Anyway though, that's about 2 minutes, so why don't we now tone those settings down to medium and see how that does. Now for medium presets, so again, let's just cruise down the settings real quick. As you can see right there, we're on medium. Still maxed out field of view, and there's all of the advanced settings for medium. And then there's the upscaling technologies, which we will do later. So, now, let's get back into the game. Now for some medium preset here, so let's just run around again. Seems like we're getting in the 50s now. Low 50s to mid 50s. Oh, we even hit 60
Listen,
for
we're
a
gonna
little
have
bit
to
here.
talk to some of these aliens if we expect to find Gene.
Oh, I know. We're just getting data, my friend. But I guess we can talk to people every once in a while.
Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter. Any idea where he might be?
Who? No. Do you know how many freaking people live here? And you expect me to know this?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's move on. Let's just go. Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian. I'm not sure. Maybe you could help?
Oh, I wish I knew where he was. He owes me like 300 pesos.
Huh, that doesn't sound like Gene Zaruthian to me.
Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Okay, no problem. Yeah, right.
I guess this one doesn't have anything to say.
Okay, excuse me, do you have any idea where Gene Zaruthian is?
What? That's my name. I'm Gene Zaruthian. But why would you... Oh, wait. You're probably thinking of the famous bounty hunter with the same name as me. Sorry, I'm just some loser accountant.
I'm just some
man.
loser
Oh,
accountant.
that's not good. Oh, okay.
Okay, I guess you don't need my help.
Yes, that's pretty cool. A lot of the times we can hit 60. Now, when we get over to this area, we're down in the high 40s and low 50s. Wonder what it is about this particular area that drops the frames so much.
Where the hell is he? Blimp City's always been his headquarters, you know? We can't give up.
Oh, we're not going to give up. We'll find them, but we'll also get FPS data in the meantime. Yeah, we've already been pretty much everywhere over here as far as I can tell. I don't know, I guess there's a few more places I haven't been.
Okay, God, someone has to know where Gene is.
No, it looks like we can't really go any farther this way. Oh well, it's time for us to move on anyway, so let's drop those settings down again. Alright, now, let's do ourselves some low graphics preset here at 1080p. So let's just cruise through here real quick. I got FOV maxed out. Now the render scale did go down, but that's probably part of the low graphics quality setting, because I did not mess with that. But anyway, that's the bottom. So now, why don't we go ahead and we'll hop into the game and we'll see how low does. Low will probably get us 60 almost the whole time. Well, only one way to find out though. Well now, here we are on low. And wow, this
Listen,
definitely looks pretty
we're gonna have to talk to some of these aliens
bad
if we
now.
expect to find Gene.
But we are getting lots of FPS now. Keep in mind, we're not at 1080p anymore, because it put the render scale down to 90 for low, so... Close though. So heck yeah, I'm sure I can
Somebody
get
around
some
here's got to know where Gene
decent,
Zaruthian is. This is
some
just
decent
keep asking.
FPS.
Hey, we're looking for Gene's. Yeah, fuck it. Let's move on. Let's just go.
Once I get to my settings, I think we'll find some good settings here for 1080p. I don't think we're gonna hit 60 all the time though, because this looks pretty bad, and this seems to be one of the only ways to hit 60 constantly. So if you want a 60 constantly experience, I think you're gonna have to just deal with this low, which definitely does not look impressive.
Hey,
But
we're looking.
that's what happens.
You don't want to talk to me? Okay, no problem.
That's what happens when you're on low, though. I mean, low is low for a reason. It's not meant to be impressive.
Okay, this isn't going so well, but let's keep asking around. We'll find something, I swear. Yeah, we can't get inside that lug box without something really sharp.
Yeah, we need old Stabby. Yeah, we went all the way down to 63 on low.
Where the hell is he?
We aren't hitting
Blimp City's
60 with
always
my
been his
settings, I don't think. I'm
headquarters,
gonna
you know?
probably try to go for
We
like
can't
more of
give
a
up.
40 to 50 FPS experience for my settings in this particular game. I think that's what I'll do.
Excuse me, do you have any idea where Gene Zaruthian is?
What? That's my name. I'm Gene Zaruthian. But why would you... Oh, wait. You're probably thinking of the famous bounty hunter with the same
Well, that's
name.
interesting. So it's not
Sorry,
always the
I'm just
same
some
guy.
loser accountant.
Oh, man. Oh, that's not good. Oh, okay.
I keep bumping into you.
Okay, I guess you don't need my help.
Nope, I don't, because you're useless.
Hey, excuse me, does the bounty hunter Gene Zaruthian live around here?
The bounty hunter, Gene Zaruthian? You must be confused. Please go.
What did you mean by that?
In any case, though, why don't we go ahead and try out some FSR if they have it. It had upscaling at the bottom, so
Okay,
let's go
God,
explore that.
Someone has to...
Now we're gonna go ahead and do some FSR 2.0. So we have the base resolution at 1080p still, VSync still disabled. We're just gonna put the graphics quality on very high. I figured, fuck it, let's just see what if that can actually make it playable, you know? That's why I like to do that, either very high or high when I have to include FSR or something like that. Because, I mean, if you're going to have to use that stuff, you might as well crank the settings up at the same time. So we're going to start on the quality setting and work our way down from that. So now let's go get back in the game and we'll see how this FSR thing does. Right on, here we go with some FSR now. And the game's on very high and we're at FSR 2.0
Hey, we're looking
quality.
for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter? Yeah, fuck it, let's move on. Let's just go. Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian.
Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Okay, no problem. Yeah.
So it seems like we're getting 40 to 50 FPS, which isn't bad considering we're on very high, but it still can't quite hit 60.
Okay, this isn't going so well, but let's keep
It's
asking
fine,
around.
we're getting data,
We'll
it
find
doesn't have
something,
to go
I
well.
swear.
Well, we're down into the 30s. But as long as we stay over 30, I'm usually a happy guy on a handheld. And I think plenty of people could play at these FPS. Not everybody isn't a super FPS snob
Where the
like
hell
I
is
am.
he? Blimp City's always been his headquarters, you know? We can't give up.
Alright, let's go over to that one area next to my house. That seemed to be the hardest place to run. So let's see if it can stay above 30 over here. Yeah, it was like right around this area it would always drop lots of FPS.
Okay,
no, we're not even dropping down to 30.
Someone has to know where Gene
Oh,
is.
there we go. Yeah, about the same as that other area over there then, I guess. Starting to think maybe that area over there was even worse. Alright, though. For FSR, we don't need 2 minutes each, so let's go ahead and move on. So now we're dropping FSR down to balanced, but I just wanted to go through all the settings here just to make sure just to show you guys I didn't fuck with anything to try to make it seem even better. Everything's still on very high. All we did was drop that down to balanced from quality. So, now let's go back into that game and we'll see how this one fared. Here we go, FSR balanced now. Definitely can tell something's going on already. Although I already
Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter. Any idea where he might be?
Who? No. Do you know how many freaking people live here? And you expect me to know this guy? No.
Yes.
No, of course not.
Okay, not everyone's gonna be helpful.
Yeah, like that guy. That guy's completely useless. Damn, that kind of just appeared out of nowhere, didn't it? Shit.
Okay, this isn't going so well, but let's keep asking around. We'll find something, I swear.
Alright.
Where the hell is he? Blimp City's always been his headquarters, you know?
Damn straight
We can't
on,
give
though.
up.
You've said most of your stuff a bunch of times. Luckily, it wouldn't get that repetitive if you just frickin' did what you're supposed to do, but I'm running around like an idiot, just running around in circles getting you guys FPS data, so... He's yelling at me. He's all like, bitch, do what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, no, I'm making a YouTube video. I've already beat this game anyway.
Okay, God,
pretty damn fun
someone
game,
has to
too.
know where Gene is.
Anyway, though, I think that's enough, so let's go move down to the next FSR setting. Dropping it down to FSR Performance now, so let's just quickly go through the settings again. Just so there's no funny business, plus it makes it easier to make chapters once I get it uploaded to YouTube. But anyway, as you can see right there, we've got it on performance mode, so now, into the game we go. Well, now let's go with some FSR Performance now. Now we're getting like 70 FPS, but the game looks really soft and terrible, but it is what it is. What do you expect?
Listen, we're gonna have
This
to
is
talk
probably
to
like
some of these aliens if
360p
we
or some
expect to find
nonsense.
Gene.
In reality.
Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter. Any idea where he might be?
Who? No. Do you know how many freaking people live here? And you expect me to know this guy? No, of course not.
Okay, not everyone's gonna be helpful. Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian. I'm not sure, maybe you could help?
Oh, I wish I knew where he was. He owes me like 300 pesos.
Huh, it doesn't sound
That's
like
a lot
Gene
of
Zaruthian to me.
pesos. Actually, no, I don't think it actually is.
Hello?
Hey, we found him by accident.
Get away. Don't take my shit.
Oh my God. It can't be.
What do you want?
You're not the famous bounty hunter Gene Zaruthian, are you?
Who's asking?
You're really Gene.
Yeah, I'm really Gene.
He's
That's me,
really
like on
Gene.
the ads. Disappointed? Guess how I feel.
Okay, well, whoopsies. We were gonna ask for your help fighting the G3 cartel, but...
Kid, do I look like I can help anyone? I just got evicted. I don't even have a goddamn home.
Can you point us in the direction of, you know, a bounty hunter friend that's still working, you know, still has their legs?
Awesome.
Ho. Look at that nice house. God damn. Where'd that come from? That's a great fucking
Anyway,
house.
though,
You see that
let's
house?
go ahead
Huh?
and
Oh,
move to the
yeah,
last
dude,
FSR
yeah, that's
setting.
this-
Okay, real quick before I do the settings. Do you hear that? That crackle? That's that crackle I was talking about because it's running at low wattage. It usually only happens when you lower the wattage under 25 watts for me. I get random crackles. So that's the other reason I always just leave it at 25 watts plus. But anyway, so sorry about the crackles, but let's go over the last FSR setting here. At least I think or maybe I already did this, but Yeah, ultra performance now. So, anyway, I mainly just wanted to show you guys this crackling nonsense, but there's also the settings again for ultra performance in case I did not do that. I had to charge this thing, and sometimes when I have to charge this thing, I forget where I left off. So, anyway, let's get into the game now. All right, so now we've got FSR on ultra performance now, and we got a bunch of pop-ups and nonsense.
You able to see okay? Sorry, I didn't expect Gene to be like that.
Enough with you. Damn pop-ups.
I think Mr. Keep is just ahead. You got this.
What's up, freak?
Jorb, greet the customer properly.
Welcome to Mr. Keep's dipshit. We're your friendly neighborhood pawn shop. Buy something or don't, nobody even cares.
Jorb!
Jorb.
Oh, so old Zaruthian doesn't feel like pawning his license key anymore. What? Did he win the sweepstakes?
Yes.
Okay, so you want this license key. But it's really nice. I kind of want it for myself.
You've got enough useless shit, Dad.
Fine, take it. It's yours.
Okay, fuck yeah. Activation license accepted.
Cool,
Bounty
no
hunting
more
suit is in
pop-ups.
Perfect working order. Time for an important question. Would you like to keep me on as your permanent in-suit advisor?
Oh, I don't get to choose. I was gonna say go away.
That was the best choice you could have made. All right, bye-bye now. I'll be back a bunch.
Whoa, not bad. It's got your vital readings, armor levels, even my biometrics. Gene really came through, didn't he? I told you he'd be great.
Perfect. Just what this galaxy needs.
Another good-for-nothing bounty hunter. Out of my store.
All right, bounty hunter. I guess let's head back to the house and check in with Gene.
Well, all right.
You'll find it. You'll
Now
figure it
let
out.
me go mess around with it, and we'll try some of my settings out before we move to
Hey, you can run,
720p.
you know.
All right, guys. Now for my settings. Now I was pretty much targeting a 40 to 50 FPS experience. Now, of course, there may be some instances where it might drop a tiny bit under 40, but for the most part, it's 40 to 50. But those are the settings I went with. Bunch of medium. I went with textures on high and mesh on high, and pretty much everything else is medium. Figured that'd be good. No upscaling technologies. 100% resolution scale, so it's 1080p. So, let's go into the game and we'll see how my settings do and how they look. Alright, so now here's my settings. Let's just go run around the town a little bit. I think it's a pretty good medium of looking pretty decent, while still getting decent enough FPS. Sure, I'd love a 60 FPS experience, but you'd have to do all low for that. That did not look very good. Yeah, see, 39. I figured it might go a little here and there. Mainly because I walked around already and knew what to expect, so. Oh, what do we got? Thank you again for shopping at Mr. Keep. Oh, over here we're dropping, though. I didn't come over here. So, yeah, we still drop under 40 here and there. But at least we're staying over, whatchamacallit,
Don't even think about
30.
going down to the slum.
Oh, never mind. Of course I say that. Now we're down to 27.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, don't let screaming guys into the set anymore.
Well, that's the problem when you don't go every single spot, but still, you get pretty decent FPS most of the time. And this is a damn big city. I feel like if you get decent FPS here, you'll probably get decent FPS pretty much everywhere else in the game. Though I could be wrong. Could be very wrong. That's just my assumption, because it's not like I played through the whole game on this thing. But yeah, just figured to show you guys. We'll just keep walking around. I kind of more stayed on this side. As you can see, I'm getting 40 to 50 FPS, so I figured that's pretty much what it got everywhere. But there's little spots in this city that just make your frames tank. Don't really know why. Nothing really seemed to be that impressively graphical over there. But it is what it is. We show you guys how the game runs.
Go away! You called me ugly. Thanks for watching.
Anyway though, I think that's probably plenty of my settings gameplay for the 1080p anyway. So now, why don't we go drop it to 720p and we'll do the whole shebang all over again. Doing 720p now, so just like at 1080p, we're gonna start off on very high preset here and just work our way down. Still got maxed out field of view and all that good stuff. And everything is all very high and we don't got any FSR on yet. We'll do that at the end, before my settings. So now, let's get into the game and see how 720p does. Alright guys, so now here's the game on very high on 720p. So we're maxed out. Let's just run around and see what kind of FPS it gets. Well, this definitely seems the way to go if you like FPS. I mean, shit, we're absolutely pooping on my settings for 1080p already, just being maxed out. Let's go over here-ish. I think this is where it dropped lots of FPS during my settings. Kind of embarrassed myself because I didn't run over to every single part of the town, so I was getting 40 FPS to 50 FPS everywhere, then I got somewhere and it dropped all the way down to fucking 28. And I was like, what the hell?
I'm the last member of this species, coming here to tell you that I want to fuck another species. You see, 20 years ago, my whole species died off in a nuclear war.
Well, that's no fun.
And I haven't been fucked since then, because I have been compatible with my little thing. If you want to look at it real quick, I'll show it to you from all angles. Here, you see it this way. Now I'm gonna turn.
Yeah, we got some pretty good FPS though. We got some stutter here and there.
This is the thing. This is how I would typically get fucked.
But it's not very common. Yeah, if you like spin around in circles real quick, sometimes you'll see some drop frames, but not a big deal. Especially because we're in the city, and who's going to be moving around like that? It's not like we're getting a firefight here. But in any case, I think we're at the 2-minute mark. Yes, we are. So why don't we go ahead and move on to the next preset. Now let's go and look at the high preset here. Still at 720p. There we go. Here's all of the high settings. The preset. And no upscaling yet. We'll do that at the end, of course. So now, let's go ahead and get into the game and we'll see how it does on high. Alright, so now we're on high, so let's just run around here.
Kidnap the alien baby.
Nice, we're getting 60 to 70 FPS now. Badass. Now we'll probably not stay at 60 the whole time.
And that's it. So,
still pretty cool. And so far we have, I think I saw 60 back there though, so that's what makes me think there's going to be some spots that may drop under, but so far a very nice experience. Yep, see, there we go, down to 52 over here for some odd reason. Don't know what made it drop, but something did. That's why we run all over the city, and I'm doing this here because I feel like this is probably one of the harder places to run with all these NPCs walking around. It's a big old city versus some of the other places you go later in the game anyway. But yeah, there's so far only one area that we dropped under 60 at, and it was down in the 50s, so not like the game's unplayable. Oh, I wanted to like run on the rail. Oh well, I failed. I failed us all.
Hey, don't even think about going down.
Fine, I won't think about going down there. Fine. Nope, not even gonna listen to you. I'm out. You said don't think about it, so I won't. Yeah, there's another spot over here where we're dropping down to the 50s, down to 52, I think we saw over there. But besides those couple spots, we're getting badass FPS pretty much everywhere else, so that works for me. But anyway, let's go drop it down to medium now and see how that does. Alright. Down to medium now, so let's cruise through here and check out the settings just really fast. Doesn't take long for this game, there's not a lot of settings. See, we're already at the bottom. No upscaling yet, of course, that is not until the end. So, now, back to the game. Well, now, here we go, we got medium now. And we dropped all the way down to 47 right there this time, so we dropped even more FPS at medium. Interesting.
Okay, hold on, before you leave. Let me just finish my commercial. I'm Papo, this is my pepperoni place. Eat the pepperoni. Here we and then now. We're the gun shooter.
Yeah, there just seems to be certain spots in this game. Still down to 57, so... Yeah, this looks like another game you can't just get a constant 60 all the time in, but you can get a pretty consistent 60 plus experience though. And I haven't seen it drop under the FreeSync range yet, so at least with, you know, reasonable settings. Obviously, we were definitely dropping under it in the beginning at 1080p with the very high settings and the high settings and all that, so... Hey, it's the Fart Patrol. Yeah, 70, 80 FPS over there. That's kind of interesting. I think it's because we're probably getting like bottlenecked or something at this point. That could be. Sometimes you go too low resolution, you just start getting diminishing returns on the FPS, where you can actually get less than you were getting before. Because I don't think we ever dropped down to the 40s on high at all. And it was over here where we dropped down to 40, so let's see if it happens again, or maybe it was just a fluke. It still happened, so it's not going to pretend it didn't, but...
Maybe you're just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
We didn't drop down to 40 this time, but...
Very progressive of you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
Were we crashing?
the right thing to do. I don't know.
We would have shot you if you didn't.
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if my brother
Alright, well, the
tells me
thing
to
didn't
shoot my
completely
other brother-in-law, I
freeze.
guess I gotta do it,
But it looks like the game sure did. So, that's not cool, but we show when it fails, so I guess after we close the game and restart, we'll move on to low. Well, now let's go and do low. We had our crash at medium at 720p, so that's interesting, but I've had quite a few crashes on this thing, but it's not like I didn't have a bunch of crashes on the Steam Deck when it first came out either. So, it's still annoying when it happens though, but we always show when things mess up. There's a bunch of Steam Deck videos of it failing to play games and messing up and doing stuff too. Same thing with my laptop. But anyway, there we go. That's all the low settings, and after we're done with this, then we'll move on to that FSR. Well, now here's low graphics settings now.
Going down to the slum.
Still drop down into the 40s over here. At least initially. I don't know if that's just it having to cache, but it still drops down to the 40s, so it is what it is. And hell, for all we know, it might have done that every time I walked over there with every other setting, but I'm pretty sure I did not see it dropping into the 40s on any other settings. High plus at 720p anyway. And we even had a crash at medium, so... Yeah, it's never fun when your stuff crashes. I mean, hell, what if I was just about to beat like the final boss and that happened? That would make me quite upset. I'm still very impressed with this thing's speakers, although even that has some issues, like on lower wattages it seems. I even showed in this video at some point it finally happened when I actually was recording, so I could show you guys. I've been waiting for it to happen. I don't like just saying it does stuff without showing you proof. And that's because I just don't want to get attacked by people being like, oh my god, you're trying to make this thing look bad. It's not that bad. You're fake. Or something like that. I've been lucky and that hasn't happened to me personally, but I've seen it happen on other channels, so that's why I say that. Luckily, I'm pretty small and have all my subscribers so far seem to be pretty badass people who don't insult me or do anything. If I do something wrong, they just say, hey dude, you messed up. All you gotta do to fix it is this, and I'm like, oh cool, no problem. And then I go fix it. Simple as that. Anyway though, that's the 2-minute mark, so now, why don't we go and see what the FSR does, and we'll just do what we did before and put it up to very high with FSR and see if we can get a 60 FPS experience, but I doubt it, seeing as though we're already not able to do it at 720p, and now that we're at 720p base and using FSR, this is probably going to go very poorly, but hey, only one way to find out. Now we're going to start our FSR adventure here, so just like on 1080p, we're going to just max the game out. And we're going to start off with quality. So, now that we got to the bottom and seen all the settings, now let's go hop into the game and see how FSR fares. Well, here we are in game, and yeah, does not look very impressive. 720p plus FSR equals not good looking. But let's see how the FPS does. We dropped down to 59 so far.
Fragile. And now I'm going around super confident, you know, I don't have any pimples. Not that that's really sort of the thing. But anyway, yeah, it's great.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm
kinda curious.
and I'm going to tell you.
Nope, 58, 52. Alright, 50. So no, we definitely do not get more FPS with that on. I didn't think that made any sense. I figured if we're going to lower the FPS or resolution even more, we're probably going to get even worse FPS. So, yeah, looking like FSR is not the way to go in this game. Though, that's what I usually tell people. Even on my laptop, I don't really like using FSR. You're at 1080p, so it's already dropping it pretty low. So it's going to make it look pretty bad. FSR and whatnot works better at high resolutions, but at the same time, people like me that can play at high resolutions, like with my 4090s and 3090s and all that shit, I don't want to have to use fake bullshit to get my frames. I'd rather just have a GPU that can do it, you know? That's why I'm kind of getting a little irritated with games nowadays. They're getting more dependent on these, you know, DLSSs and FSRs and frame generation and all this stuff. To be like, hey dude, we made this game that can only get like 20 FPS, but if you get this badass graphics card with all this fancy dancy stuff, you can actually get a 60-ish FPS experience. And then this, to me, that's just like lazy coding and whatnot. That shit should be for the lower end and mid-range cards, to get a little bit more life out of them. And then, you know, if somebody does want to hold on to a top-end card like mine and just not upgrade again for like 5 or 6 years, you know, then they too can use it to, you know, keep it going. That's what that should be for, not making the game work to begin with. But, alright, that's 2 minutes, so rant over, and on to the next FSR. Well, now let's look at the balanced FSR settings now. Everything else is still on very high, still at 720p base. And there you go, balanced. And with that, let's go see how balanced does. Probably gonna look, well, pretty damn bad, and it's probably gonna get even worse FPS, but we shall see. Here we go, balanced FSR now. So let's just run around, and yeah, 39. So yeah, I think we're getting CPU bottleneck over there. That's gotta be what it is. Because every time we lower the resolution, we get even worse FPS over there and over here behind my house. That's why I started running over in these two places specifically. If they're the two hardest places to run and the hardest city to run, I figured, well, if we can do good there, we can do good anywhere, but I think with 720p, we're going to have to just do mostly a mixture of very high and high for my settings, and still probably not be able to hit a solid 60, unfortunately. I was hopeful, but it wasn't meant to be. But that doesn't mean the game's not fun and can't be playable. I can always forgive not hitting 60 FPS on these handhelds. And besides, half the time if you do 60, anyway, if you do 60, then you lower your battery life and whatnot. And half the time, if you want to run at a normal TDP like 15 or something like that, you're definitely not getting 60 in a lot of the newer age games. And even 25, like I'm running right now, can't cut the mustard. It runs best, obviously, when it's self-plugged in. But if you're just going to live plugged into the wall all the time, then it's like, why even get a handheld console? Unless you got like a really long cord, I guess. But I don't want a cord sticking out of my thing the whole time I'm gaming, wherever I'm at. That's just me. Anybody can use theirs any way they want. I always just thought that was a little weird. But if you want to use it as a desktop replacement when you get home and just have it be your one-all be-all and get one of those GPU docks and whatnot, then I totally understand. And then, by all means, crank that bitch. That's one cool thing, and it can be a desktop replacement too. It's pricey as fuck, and its value goes straight out the window once you do that, but hey, it is what it is. So now, let's move on. Performance FSR time now. So again, we're just going to go through the settings just real fast here. Seems like every once in a while in this game, I don't know if it's the system or the game, but it just like skips my inputs every once in a while. But anyway, as you can see, there's Performance FSR at the bottom there. So now, back to the game. Here we go, FSR Performance now. And holy crap, this looks bad.
Show me what's in your...
But it always looked bad on the Steam Deck when we did this too, so I don't know why I would expect anything different.
Signature. You're like grabbing at me. My arms just kind of do whatever they want. Please go away.
Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention to see if we dropped frames a bunch.
Hey, no, come right over here, come.
Alright, well this time we actually didn't drop as low as we did
There's little
before.
guys coming out of your house. That okay?
I don't know if that's okay. You tell me. Because my theory was the lower we lower the resolution, the more CPU bottleneck we get. And that's why we were dropping frames, but this time we didn't drop as low frames this time. So I guess it's just inconsistent.
Restaurant here and just go to the bathroom. Here I am in the bathroom. Please don't follow me into the stall because it's really small in there already. Well, you're in here now. Cool.
Alright, now let's go do the last FSR. Last up on the FSR, we have Ultra Performance. So, let's cruise through these settings here one more time. As far as the FSR is concerned anyway, we still gotta do my settings, but there you go. Ultra Performance. So, now, let's go see how that does. I can't imagine how bad this is going to look. Well, actually I can, because we've done a bunch of videos with Ultra Performance FSR. It's going to look bad. Very, very bad. So now, here we are, Ultra FSR Performance now.
This isn't even a show, it's just a guy.
We got down to 42 over here, not 38. So far, medium did the worst through that one spot at 38 FPS. But this game can be kind of strange at times. I think there's a game somewhere in this weird place with pixels and just haze. But no, I kid. It looks pretty bad though.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
You get a lot of FPS in certain spots, but you fall flat on your face in others. Alright, let's go past the small little aliens coming out of my house over here. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for a mostly very high and high experience and try to target like a 50 to 60 plus experience or something. Kind of like I wanted to do a 40 to 50 with my settings before, although we all know how that turned out. In certain spots we still drop down to like 28, so it's more like a 30 to 40, 50 experience. So, well actually no, we can go out a 40 to 50 FPS experience with drops to 30. That's a better way to put it. Anyway, though, with that, let's go and do my settings now. I already have a pretty good idea of what ones to set to what. So now let's do my settings for 720p now. I'm gonna have to plug this thing in before we actually get any footage though. Because once I get to 20% battery, it drops to like battery saver mode in Windows and does a bunch of other stuff and you lose performance. I'm sure I could turn all that off, but it is what it is. So those are the settings I went with, and now it's time to charge both the Ally real quick before we get footage, and my camera needs a charge too now that I look at it. But luckily you guys don't gotta wait for any of that. Well, alright. Now let's do my settings now that's had some time to charge. Now it's still probably gonna drop under 60 here and there. In fact, I know it will. But it's kind of like a 60 to 80 FPS, it seems like.
Promise.
More like a 60 to 70, but I had seen it hit 80 in one spot or another. Just watch now is not going to do it. There we go, see? I knew I saw it do that. Hell, it even hit 90 this time. It didn't get quite that much. It only went up to like 82 or something. See over here, 54 still, 49.
Huh, there's little guys coming out of your house. Okay.
There's certain spots you just can't get great FPS, but I'll still take 40 over dropping down into the 30s like I did at 1080p any day. And it doesn't look bad. I'd say it still looks very crisp. Not as crisp as the 1080p did, but that's when you gotta decide what you want. Do you want FPS, or do you want more about graphics and clarity? But at least with this device you can pick.
Excited to fuck the turtles? You just wanted to fuck the turtles, huh? And it wasn't even about the money or the fame for you. That's right. It was only about fucking the turtles. Were the turtles okay with being fucked?
Apparently it was only about fucking the turtles, guys. We had no idea this whole time. But, alright, I think that's plenty of camera recorded gameplay here, but that's all we really did. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any screen recorded, so let's go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for High on Life here on the ROG Ally here, and it did a pretty damn good job. We couldn't quite get a 60 FPS all the time experience, but for the most part, it's over average 60, I would say. Just not at 1080p. 1080p is more of a 30 to 40 FPS experience, sometimes touching the 50, at least with my setting. But still, kind of cool to see another game it can play pretty damn well. And since it got a BIOS update, I think that helped out a lot. I bet if I had played this beforehand with the old BIOS, I probably would have been like, what the hell, this sucks. This is annoying. That last BIOS is starting to tick me off. But anyway, that is all we got for this particular video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And if you guys have any more requests, obviously just keep on putting them in the comment section, and I'll keep on doing videos as long as I've got the game, or it's on, whatchamacallit, Game Pass, Origin, something like that. I can get it if it's one I'm not interested in. And if it was one I was interested in getting, and I'm gonna get it anyway, I don't mind buying it. I'm just not here really to go out and buy a bunch of games I'm not at all interested in playing, you know? That's just a waste of money. But anyway, so until the next video, guys, peace out.